Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel Cakes by MK. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an easy and cost-effective number or letter cake. So I've just reached 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is just like a crazy milestone for me. Thank you guys so much for your support, for liking, subscribing, trying out my recipes, sharing your photos of different cakes and bakes that you've done using my tutorials. I absolutely would not be able to have reached this massive milestone, especially within my first year of being on YouTube, without your guys' support. So thank you so much. And to celebrate, I'm going to be making a 50K cake. So I've got my 50 and my K. Also, if you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button below and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you're updated whenever I upload a new video. Apart from that, stay tuned and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Now, when making a letter or a number cake, it can be quite expensive buying the individual cake tins. So what I like to do instead is I like to print off some templates of the numbers or letters that I'm creating. So what I've got here is I've got some printouts of 50K, so 50 and K. And there are so many different programs that you can use to create your letters and your numbers. But I like to use a website called Canva. And basically what I do is I just start a new project, choose A4 as my size, choose my font, which is Open Sans Bold, and then simply type out my numbers or my letters however big that I need them to be. And then what I do is I just add a special effect which removes kind of the color on the inside, so you're just left with a nice outline, and then just download it as a PDF, and then you can simply just print that off. So that's what I've got here. I've got my 50 and my K, and I'm simply just going to now cut out the outlines of each of them. Okay, so I've cut out my 50 and my K, and now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting out my cakes in these numbers and letters. So what I've got here is I've got some sheet cakes which I made, and they're basically just rectangular cakes, and I used my vanilla cake recipe, which I'll post a link to below, and I will be doing a video on it shortly because a lot of you have requested it. And I'm simply just going to put my template that I've got on top of my cake, and then I'm going to use a serrated knife to cut the outline of my number. And just remember to hold your knife really nice and straight, because you don't want to be cutting your number out at an angle. You want it to be nice and straight on the edges. And then just slowly start pulling away the cake. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention was if you are making a number cake, and especially if you're going to keep it naked so that it's kind of showing on the edges, just try to use a cake batter which isn't going to end up in too crumbly of a cake. So the reason why is because when you come to cutting the edges, you want it to kind of be nice and straight and not, kind of falling apart. So with this vanilla cake that I've got here, as you can see, it's really nice and moist and soft to the touch, but it's got quite a tight crumb, so it's slightly on the denser side, which is going to help us get nice straight sides around our number cake. Now, once I've got the general shape cut out, I like to just go around and kind of clean up the edges slightly and then transfer it onto my cake board. And for the smaller areas, you can use a smaller knife just to make it a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to gently pick up my cake and then transfer it to my cake board. And then you are left with a beautiful number cake, which is not decorated yet, but we will get to that soon. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm simply going to do the exact same thing with my O or 0 and my K, and I'm going to pop them onto the cake boards, and then we're going to finish off decorating. If you do have a slight dome on the top of your cakes, then you will need to trim the top so that they're nice and flat, but my cake baked really nice and flat, so I didn't need to trim the top, so just keep that in mind. So my K is a little bit shorter than my two other numbers, so I'm just going to cut the template a little bit higher than what I've actually got here. So part of my K broke, but that's okay because it's going to be covered, so you won't even see it anyway. So I finished off my 5, 0 and my K now, and the last thing that I'm going to do to kind of clean up my cakes is I'm just going to trim off the top so that they're all the same color. And I'm just doing this gently with a serrated knife. So I have cleaned up the tops of my cakes now, and now I'm going to clean up this mess because there are crumbs everywhere, and then we're going to come back and finish decorating. So to decorate my cakes today, I'm going to start off by doing some simple piping on the top. So what I've got here is I've got some vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream, which I've popped into a piping bag, and I've got a large round tip nozzle on it, and I'm just going to be piping out some kind of raindrop buttercream patterns on the tops of all of my cakes. So I have finished all the piping on top of my cakes, and now I'm just going to finish off by decorating with some dried roses that I've got here. I've got some macarons, some white chocolate, some kisses, as well as some fizz lollies too, and I'm just going to put it all over the cake. Okay, so I have finished decorating my cake. I've put all my different decorations on top. Now, a few things to keep in mind before I finish is, one, when you make naked number cakes like this, the only issue is that they can dry out very quickly. So if you are going to not be eating it straight away, or it's for a client, I would highly recommend making sure that you put simple syrup on your cake. So I forgot to do that today, but that's okay because these are just for me and my family. But just remember to put simple syrup on your cake. I will post a link below to a video that I've done on this if you're not quite sure what simple syrup is, but this will just ensure that your cakes stay nice and moist, especially if you're going to be taking it in and out of the fridge. Another thing is that you can totally make these double layer cakes too. So all you would need to do is, after you've done your piping, pop it into the fridge for about 10 minutes or so to allow the buttercream to firm up slightly, and then simply put another layer of the same mold on top, and then you'll have like a double layered number cake or letter cake, which is really pretty as well, but I would have way too much cake if I did that, so I've just stuck with the one layer. But apart from that, my number and letter cake are all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to make a number or letter cake. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this, and thanks again for watching Cakes by MK.